Aloha everyone. We're down here in Hilo, Hawaii, July 9th, 2022, on the corner of Kilauea and Lanikaula in front of the Department of Agriculture. And why are we here? Because they're experimenting on us from every angle. The new angle is mosquitoes that are contaminated with the Wolbachia bacterium, which is, they're going to release a bunch of male infected invasive mosquitoes into the delicate environment that is in fact the world's capital of endangered species. So we're kind of saturated with all of this experimentation, and needles, and whether they're flying or not, the experimentation has to come to a halt. My name is Millicent. I'm the president of the Emergency Child Protective Coalition, so my job is to protect children. Big people can shoot themselves up with any kind of drug they want. I'm no judge. As soon as you start experimenting on children, that's another thing. So that's my job. So in organizing people to come together and say, wait a minute, wait. But they're grown in a lab. We have no idea what other kind of contaminants could be involved in that experiment. We have no long-term data. We have no long peer-reviewed data about anything, no short-term or long-term. We have different places in the world who've been experimented on, but for very different reasons. The reason they are providing, and who's they? The DLNR and the Department of Agriculture and other entities, they are using the excuse that we've got to save our indigenous birds, our endangered birds. That wasn't the case with the other experiments. So they've got to grab something. They've got to find some excuse to spend so much money on an unsustainable experiment that has to be replicated constantly. It's like a Band-Aid on a Band-Aid on a Band-Aid, never really addressing the original problem. If we addressed the original problem, we would go to the root. One of the root causes was another failed experiment. The mongoose. The mongoose came here to do what? Deal with the rat problem. So we have it's like giving somebody a drug to address this problem, and that the drug creates this problem. Then you need another drug for that problem, and so on and so on and so on we go. We're saturated here. This is the world's capital of endangered species because of this experimentation that has to stop. No more invasive species should be coming here. We are at saturation point. This is what people need to understand. So what do? We have to stand here in front of people on the street because nobody's going to self-educate. That's our job. So that's what we're doing. And if you want to get involved, you can go to protectorsunited.com. Lots of people are talking about this. If you just type in Wolbachia mosquitoes, you will find all the propaganda that says what a great idea this is, even though there's no long-term safety data, just like the vaccines. So there is no long-term safety data from which to draw upon to make a decision like that of introducing a bacterium that could wreak havoc not only in the mosquito population, but in all the creatures that might eat them or get bitten by them. There's no studies. We just know it has something to do with reproductive capacity. That's a little bit problematic when you coinciding with this vaccine rollout that's seeing so many adverse reactions, many of which are sterilization. So we have to kind of wake up and greet each other on this planet as human beings that don't need to be experimented on. That if we're not being experimented on, we're supposed to feel inadequate or dangerous even. This is absurdity gone on steroids here in this COVID era. So we're here to say absolutely no more invasive species being introduced in our very delicate environments with our beloved birds. This is not about the birds. It wasn't about the endangered birds in Key West, Florida, or near there. It wasn't about they'll think of a reason. You have to get a grip, in my humble opinion, and maybe not so humble. There are entities that do not want us to be healthy, sovereign, capable, critically thinking human beings. And if we continue to think state that our government is doing everything it can for our health and safety, you won't be around much longer. And I hate to be so brave and put something negative out into the universe, but I'm just basing that statement on actually what has gone on before. And if we do our history, which no one has the time to do, you'll see history repeating itself time and time again, where one group of people did not have the best interests of the other group. And this hurts women and children most of all. So I'm going to just ask that we all think about our children and our children's children and our children's children's children instead of ourselves. And that is all I can do. And I hope it finds you all well, without some new experiment in your backyard that you have to deal with. And you know, all of this takes time. We have to keep in mind that we don't have time for all of this. We're already at saturation point. These people cannot make decisions like this. They put it open to the public, and what did the public do? 102 people said, absolutely not. Here's the data. Don't do this. This is nuts. Only 20 said, great idea. Be good for the economy, blah, blah, blah. We'll save the birds. So what did they do? Only 20 people for it, 102 people against it. They passed it. This is time and time again. So we have to come to grips that we have to take it upon ourselves to protect ourselves and each other, but the bottom line, protect the children. In order to do that, yes, we have to take the oxygen mask on. In doing that, that's called self-education. Thank you so much for doing that. Have a blessed day.
Could you repeat the website?
ProtectorsUnited.com is Protectors United, as in ProtectorsUnited.com.
Okay, thank you.